Hello YouTube! Today we're gonna make a LiPo battery pack for this DumboRC transmitter. For this project, I'm gonna use 14500 lithium ion cells, which I got for around $2 for 5 pieces. So this is gonna be very cheap. And also I'm gonna use a 3-lead balance connector as well as a 2-lead or a 2-wire GST connector for the power. As you can see here, the red wire is on one side and the black wire is in the middle. What I'm gonna do is gonna remove the wires from the connector and rearrange them to follow the normal color combination or color sequence of regular battery packs. I'm gonna do that so I won't make a mistake when plugging this battery pack into the charger. Okay, so I have to put my X-Acto knife. I have to push the pin in so I can pull the wire out together with the pin. Okay. Then I'm gonna rearrange it. I'm gonna put the black one first, then the yellow in the middle, and the red on the right. Just be careful when you do this. Make sure you compare your battery leads with your other batteries so that you won't make a mistake in repinning the balance lead. So now this is the GST connector which will be used to power. So what I'm doing now is I'm putting double-sided tape for two things: for rigidity of the pack and at the same time so that it will provide additional insulation between the cells. Okay, I'm just gonna stick them together, and then when I'm done with this, I'm gonna wrap it with a couple of rounds of electrical tape. Okay, as you can see, 2 cells are facing up and 2 cells are facing down. Now I'm gonna spot weld the nickel strip on one side of all the 4 cells of the battery. I'm gonna use a spot welder which I have. If I didn't have this, I'll be probably using a soldering iron. I used to do that a lot of times before, but it's highly discouraged because it's dangerous because you're heating the lithium ion cells. So I invested in a spot welder to help me make battery packs easier and safer. Now I'm gonna flip it over so I can work on the other end. First, I'm gonna spot weld the 2 positive ends of the cells together. Okay, just the positive. Now I'm gonna spot weld the 2 negative ends together. At first I planned to put a tab at the end of that, but eventually I cut it off due to safety concerns. The insulation that I'm gonna put might wear off, and the extra tab that I'm poking at now might touch the positive side of the other cells. So later on in the video, I'm gonna cut it. Now I'm gonna cut the balance lead wires so that they will align with the positive and the negative tabs of the battery pack. So the red will be for the positive and the black will be for the negative. I'm not gonna cut the middle wire yet because that will go at the bottom of the pack. I'm also gonna cut the wire for the power lead. Okay, I'm just gonna pre-tin the wires before I solder them onto the tabs. What's nice about soldering on nickel strips is that they're very easy to solder. It takes only a second or so of the soldering iron touching it to melt the solder. First, I attach the positive wires of the balance lead and the power lead together. Now I'm gonna attach the negative leads of both the balance lead and the power lead together. Now I will attach the middle wire of the balance lead to the other side of the battery pack. Here, you can see that I added a heat shrink tube as additional protection if ever the insulation of the wire wears out over time. Okay, just making sure that the wire routing is done properly so that it won't rub on the wrong terminals or wrong side of the battery over time. Okay, now I'm gonna attach the middle wire of the balance lead to the other side of the battery pack. It's the side where the four ends are all connected together. Okay, I'm just making sure that the wires are properly routed before I put on some Kapton tape on it. Here, I remove the negative wires so that I can add a heat shrink tube as additional protection. First, I'm gonna put some Kapton tape here to cover the positive side of the battery. Then I'll wrap the open ends with Kapton tape. Then I also used electrical tape to wrap it further and make it stronger. Now I'm gonna use some giant heat shrink tubing to wrap the whole battery. But I think I made a mistake here because I should have rotated the heat shrink tube 90 degrees. Because the problem with my pack right now is that the exposed ends actually align with the terminals that we just spot welded. Okay, so here's the finished product. I'm gonna use my multimeter now to check for voltages. First, I'm gonna check the voltage on the main power lead, which is the one with the red and black wire. Okay, I should have a reading of around a little over 7 volts. Now I'm gonna check the voltages between the black wire and the middle wire. It should read 3.6 volts or 3.8 depending on the charge, and between the black and the red, which would be around 7 something volts. Now let me test if it will fit the compartment of my DumboRC transmitter. Okay, make sure you follow the correct polarity. As you can see, it fits nice and snug. And there you go. So here's the final product. It's a 2S2P lithium-ion battery pack. Okay, let's try it. Just make sure you follow the polarity inside. Okay. Let's pop it in. And put the cover. Alright, let's test it. Alright, it's working. So once again, thanks for watching.